Welcome, one and all. I am your host, Colin Birch. This is The Good Interview. I am joined today by the lovely Dr. Jess McLaren, a naturopathic doctor who's traveled to India originally in her soul-searching journey. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Jess, how are you doing today?
I am very well, thank you, Colin, for asking. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I know you have a very busy schedule, so yeah, we'll try to get through this and but not rush it, not rush it, still get some good content out of it.
Thank you so much for having me here. I feel so honored to be a part of the Good Newspaper.
As again, we are honored to have you. Thank you very much. So, first things first, as I just mentioned, right? You actually went to India. That was like the, let's say, the start of the journey. Can you walk us through what was the, let's say, the greatest discovery you made whilst you were on that side, and how that has impacted you for going forward?
The greatest discovery. That is so tricky to choose just one when it was just over a month of getting immersed in a completely different culture based on such beautiful and sound principles of mindfulness and meditation, community, and all of these really important concepts that, being in the Western world, I hadn't learned or heard of before. Um, I think the most valuable aspect I took back was that of holistic health and how there is more components to health, not merely just the physical. Yoga is the practice of joining or union of the mind, body, and soul. And I realized through this practice of meditation, breath work, movement through yoga, and study that you can incorporate and integrate all of these factors, and that your mental and emotional health is just as important as your physical health.
Hi, thank you very much for that. Very concise, very concise. So speaking of yoga, you're obviously a proponent thereof. Why do you find it to be so useful? How do you approach it, and how has it helped you in through your practice in daily living?
Yeah, so in yoga, you learn the principles of discipline, of showing up every single day, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what your mind is saying, regardless of where you are in the world, location-wise. It's about this constant, every single day act of self-love to get to this end goal of bliss or enlightenment, as they say. But it's this repetition of self-discipline and self-love and showing up for yourself, and this courage really translates to all aspects of life, right? When you are able to do a pose that you never thought possible, you saw these gurus doing and you thought, wow, that's going to take me a whole lifetime if even. Suddenly it becomes possible, and then things off the mat in your life that you once thought were impossible also become possible.
All right, I really like that. I really like that, especially the part about you showing up for yourself as well. Not it doesn't matter how you feel. At the end of the day, you can, by pushing through it, you can kind of condition yourself to, no matter how you do feel that day, you can still get everything done that you want to get done in a sense. It kind of drives that determination that of the will a bit further, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah, it's all about coming back to the moment, coming back to the breath, and not letting your thoughts run away with all these stories, all these narratives that are not necessarily true. But yeah, you can accomplish absolutely anything you would like with those simple principles of discipline, self-control, and coming back to the moment and just focusing on the present. Obviously, you get the physical benefits of yoga, right? Improved strength, flexibility, muscle tone, and all of those incredible benefits. And then with the breath work and the meditation, you're really able to soothe the nervous system from a pure physiologic perspective. And obviously, we have very stressful environments. So I don't know about you, but I really, really need that daily self-soothe ritual of my meditation, yoga, and breathwork practice.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna agree with you. To me, I find myself I do a bit of meditation myself, but I really, my best clearing my mind is just actually just walking in nature somewhere. That is just one of the best things that I can do for myself. Just personally, it just helps clear my head, helps clear my emotions, and I just feel so much better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. There are a lot of factors as to why walking in nature is so good and feels so good for you. Firstly, obviously, you're moving, releasing endorphins. Secondly, certain trees release compounds called pannines, and basically these actually calm down the nervous system. So they have an anxiolytic effect. So the compounds these trees are releasing actually soothe your nervous system. And then other compounds they release, such as phytoncides, boost your immunity. So it's interesting that even the air that you breathe when you're walking is laden with different microbes that help to inoculate your gut and bring a healthy diversity in the gut. So there's so many reasons as to why it feels amazing to walk in a forest.
That's incredible. I was not aware of all of those factors going on, and it actually makes sense that, as to why I'm drawn to the trees as well. Especially when I am walking around, I'll usually go and sit down right by the stump of a tree and just chill for a while. So it makes sense, actually. It makes sense.
Maybe the tree huggers aren't so weird, right?
No, no, maybe not. After all, no. All right. So, what does holistic wellness mean to you, and how and why would you advocate for it?
So holistic wellness is kind of a concept I touched on earlier when you asked me about going to India. It's about the integration of all aspects of health, right? Looking at somebody's health as a multifactorial process, looking at their emotional health, their mental health, their physical health, their environmental health. You know, where are they living? What are they exposed to? Um, and then their lifestyle, as well as their social health and economic health, because all of these play a huge part as to what decisions, what habits people make and choose to do, and therefore their health status, right? Every action that we do, whether it's eating a certain food or choosing to move our body or not move our body, or thinking a stressful thought and having this whole hormonal cascade in our body from this very stressful thought, they all impact our health and cause either health or disease. So we have to look at people as this whole complex of different factors that are constantly playing with each other. We can't isolate a certain part of it. We can't isolate an organ. We can't isolate even a part of their physical health just looking in the diet, because it is so complicated.
Okay, okay. I really like that as well. Yeah, no, it makes sense. You have to look at every single variable that is actually impacting the person, and that's uh it's just why it's so important to, as you say, kind of zoom out, right? Not look at any one individual factor, but take them all as a cluster in a sense, and make more of a or get more of an understanding from it thereof. So I like that. All right. Um, so what is the most or some of the most common misconceptions about naturopathic medicine that you could debunk for us?
Great question. That's a good question. Um, Firstly, no, I'm not a homeopathic doctor. There are different forms of complementary and alternative medicine. And Unani Tib is Greek medicine, Chinese medicine is obviously, as the name states. Naturopathic medicine is a modality of natural medicine that is evidence-based medicine. So we look at what the research is saying, we look at our physiology. The philosophy is largely based on Hippocrates. So taking his principles and looking at what the science is saying, what the research is saying, where applicable, and then combining it with traditional naturopathy, but not in an evidence-based way. And naturopathic medicine treats using these evidence-based principles with herbs, supplements, lifestyle components, and diets. But as I say, it's all founded in research. It's not as abstract as I think a lot of people think it is. I get a lot of people saying to me, "Oh, placebo, that's really interesting." And yes, I think placebo is really interesting. It's amazing, like what we can do with our mind. But if you look at herbal extracts and herbs, they actually have medicinal benefits in the body, and it's not just the mind.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. All right, thank you for that. I can understand that you're really passionate about it, the field that you're in, just by the way how enthusiastically you answered that question. So I appreciate it, truly. So,
Uh,
okay, just before I move on, interesting side note. Uh, I don't know if you said that a lot of it is based on Hippocrates' or some of his
mm.
writings or his philosophy. So, just out of curiosity, you don't have any geometric shape therapy like Pythagoras would have had back in the day. I'm just curious because I remember hearing some story about him treating his patients with certain geometric forms and that. I'm not too clued up on it. I just thought I'd shoot the questions your way.
I've not heard of that myself,
Okay,
actually.
okay. Let's keep past
But
it
that's
then. Okay, so one of the therapies that you incorporate into your routine is hydrotherapy. Could you tell us some more about it and how you incorporate it in your courses?
Yes, that's very interesting. So hydrotherapy, as the name suggests, is water therapy. So it's using water as a therapeutic tool. So I know a lot of people are interested in cold water immersions. So that would definitely be classified in our treatment, the cold cryotherapy, we call it. And in South Africa, we can get this benefit from being in the ocean because our oceans are so icy. If you go towards the Atlantic seaboard, or you can also use an ice bath. The other types of hydrotherapy is using warm water and cold water combinations. So we call this contrast hydrotherapy. And because the cold water has a vasoconstriction, basically our blood vessels constrict when we get in the cold water. And then in the warm water, our blood vessels dilate, so they open. So in that way, it forces like a natural pumping effect. So it has a really, really good effect on the cardiovascular system and improves circulation. So that's really beneficial. And then another way we use water or hydrotherapy is in our mineral baths. So we'll add certain salts and minerals to baths that will either help to detoxify or some substances that are more permeable through our skin will add, and then you can also get that therapeutic benefit of just absorbing through the skin. So those are some of the ways that we use water as therapeutic tools, which is interesting.
I really dig that. I had not heard about the throwing the minerals into the actual water as well for various effects. That's really cool. I like that idea. I
Have
like
you ever heard of Epsom salts?
Yes, yes, yes. These are for
Yeah,
plants, for gardening, and that it can do wonders. Yes.
yeah. Yeah, so it's actually magnesium. So you put the magnesium into your bath, and then it can get absorbed into your skin, and it's also very detoxifying. And then you can add certain like essential oils or other minerals to it, depending on the therapeutic outcome you want, right?
Naturally.
Some other ways I didn't even think of is the steam inhalations, which we use a lot. We'll put some herbs or essential oils, and then you can steam it. And specifically for like respiratory conditions or even like skin conditions, it helps a lot.
That's really nice. I like that too. I think I might just incorporate some of this myself because it just sounds lovely, just the idea of it alone. So I can only imagine that. But also, I just out of
Yes,
curiosity,
that's what I want to.
sorry to cut you off. Out of curiosity, another question that I had based on the hydrotherapy, right, was I had the thought and I was wondering if you could possibly debunk it for me or prove it true, one of the two, maybe. It's essentially when I think of cold water therapy, and especially when at very first when you jump into the very ice cold water, right? there's that you get an adrenaline release as well. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but it seems like you would, right? And to
Yeah.
me, yeah, okay, awesome, awesome. So in my mind, right, when I think of that, it's also in a sense a kind of, it can be a kind of meditation, because now you have to try and keep your mind kind of calm while you're in this situation where your body is kind of revolting against where it is right now. So your ability to kind of handle that kind of can translate into other situations where you feel like you can handle anxiety better. That
Yes, I definitely agree. When you put your body into a stressor, right? The ice cold is a massive stressor on the body. So you definitely do build more mental resilience that can be taken into other aspects of life from it. A nice benefit with the cold water and why people feel almost like addicted, like I feel like I might be slightly addicted, is because when you get out of the water, you also release so much dopamine and serotonin. So that's an endorphin. So you feel really good. But you're absolutely right. When you get in, you do get a release of adrenaline and these stress hormones. But in the acute setting, they can actually be good for us. You know, we don't want them over long term, but in these acute and monitored settings, it's not dangerous. We call it like eustress, good stress.
interesting, interesting. Well, it looks like the old noggin hasn't failed me yet, so I'm glad. I'm glad. Uh, so what legacy or impact would you like to leave behind in the field of naturopathy?
Great.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
not the plant field.
Yeah. All right.
Um, what legacy would I like to leave behind? I want to bring more awareness to naturopathic medicine and help people incorporate plants into their every single day life. We have over 200,000 different plant species, and we do not come into contact with nearly even in a 100th of that. So I would like to educate people and bring awareness to the plant medicine that is literally outside our houses and that we walk past probably every single day and we don't even know that it is medicine. I hope that during my career, I can, through collaborations with other healthcare professionals in the field and other like-minded people in other fields, create a community that emphasizes and makes natural medicine accessible and more of a normal.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I like it. I dig the vision. I dig the vision. And I wish you all the best with it. I think we could all be.
Join.
Sorry, I missed that.
I said, join me on the vision.
Oh, yes. No, 100%, right. That's what we're here for. We're here to connect, and we're here to share visions and see where we can get, and hopefully we can make the present just that much better so that tomorrow can be even better. Yeah, and that's a responsibility for each and every one of us. Yeah, yeah. So on that kind of topic, what is there any? I suppose it's kind of similar to the last question, but you can go off into a different knack to it if you would like. What message do you have to share with the world?
This is such a lovely question. And I'm going to use an example of a company, a herbal company that I started with a friend. And the name is And Botany. And everyone always asks me, why does it begin in the middle of a sentence? Why would you name a company? You know, it's beginning in the middle of a sentence. It doesn't make sense. And what I always tell people is at any point in your life, you can choose a different decision and you can rewrite your narrative. Health is a journey and it's not a destination. And you are never at the you're never at the bottom of your life, and you can never be You can never not choose a better tomorrow. You can never not upregulate your genes, rewrite your health script, and choose a different life. So I just want people to know that, yeah, they are not victim to their circumstance. They are not victim to their disease, and they are not victim to their thoughts. They can always, always, always change. So it's just to instill that hope and possibly a way.
Wow, I couldn't have said it better myself, even though it's your vision and it's something you would have wanted to share with the world, but no doubt. Genuinely, that was awesome. I think something that I've personally also has come to my mind is exactly what you've just mentioned, as well as is that it's always a process, right? Growth is a process, health is a process, life is a process. And so we tend to kind of label and kind of put ourselves in boxes as well as the rest of the world. And anytime we do that, then we kind of just adhere to that kind of way of being, right? And it's difficult to kind of break out of that. But as you said, it is possible. At any point, you are able to turn it around. Um, yeah, it might not be easy, but it is worth it. It is worth
I
it.
was going to say that too. It's definitely not easy, right? To change your habits and change your lifestyle and change your way of thinking and change your way of being and choosing a different way. It's not easy, but you don't have to wait until you are sick to do it. You can choose when you're healthy to also uh, live healthier. So you don't have the disease, right? Prevention is always better than cure.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, thank you so much, Jess. That was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I wish you all the best with your journey. You have some amazing mindset and incredible enthusiasm too. That is something that I have seen brimming from you this entire conversation. So I can't applaud you enough for that. You definitely seem to be exactly where you need to be. So good for you. Good on you. I wish you all the best with your further ventures and your practice. And yeah, we'll probably catch up again sometime soon, and then we'll see where life has taken you then. But thank you very
Yes,
much.
perfect. Thank you so much for having me here. I love to talk about the things that I am most passionate about in this world. So thank you for humoring me and giving me the time and space to do so. It has been such a pleasure to connect, and I really love your message of your newspaper, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. So thank you, and I'm really excited to watch you grow on your journey. So have a beautiful day, and thank you for the interview.
We appreciate it immensely, Jess. Thank you so much. And everybody watching, thank you very much as well. Have a lovely day further, and peace be with you.